Eritrea is amongst the African countries most vulnerable to the impact of climate change. Considering its present low adaptive capacity and subsistence agriculture, the climate change-induced impacts constitute a formidable challenge to the country's efforts to combat poverty and guarantee food security. Therefore, in order to cope with recurrent droughts, climate change and climate variability, the government of the state of Eritrea formulated the Climate Change Adaptation Program in Water and Agriculture in Anseba Region, a region that is characterized by arid and hot climate.
We are among the most hit by climate change, and this makes it imperative for us to put climate change adaptation program at the top of our national development strategy, and by climate change adaptation, taking integrated measures that enhance the life supporting capacity of our national resources and the habitat, improving or strengthening the resilience and capacity of our society and the community as a whole to the impacts of climate change.
The $6 million project implemented by the Ministry of Land, Water and Environment and the Ministry of Agriculture has been operational since 2013 in two subzones, namely Habaro and Hamilmalo of the Anseba Region, with average annual rainfall being 190 millimeters and 367 millimeters for Habaro and Hamilmalo, respectively.
It is basically an adaptation program to try to address the issues of the climate change action in Eritrea. As you know, all countries are facing this challenge of climate change, and it's impacting on lives, it's also impacting on economies, and it's part of the SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 13, which is on climate action.
The objective of the program is to increase community resilience and adaptive capacity to climate change through an integrated water management and agricultural development approach.
ኣብቲ ከባቢ ዝነብር ዘሎ ህዝቢ ምስቲ ምቕያር ክሊማ ምቕያር እተታውነት ዘውርዶ ዘሎ ሳዕብየን ተረዲእኻ ናብሩን ምምሕያሽ ብኡ መጠን ከዓ እቲ ምዕቃብ ኣከባቢ መውሓስ እቲ ምዕቃብ ኣከባቢ ተተዋሒሱ ከዓ እቲ ክሊማዊ ለውጢ እቲ ፍግረ መሬት እቲ ምስሳን ህይወታዊ ብዙሕነት ከዓ ንምዕባይ ዝዓለመ እዩ ነይሩ።
Within this program, the Ministries of Agriculture and Land, Water and Environment worked closely and effectively to provide quality support and input to ensure timely implementation and accomplishments of the program's outputs and outcomes. The construction of diversion structures and associated irrigation technologies such as construction of dams, microdams and check dams have complemented the increase of water availability and erosion control through groundwater recharge, rainwater harvesting, irrigation and soil and water conservation activities. The program was able to increase the availability of water by about 1 to 2 million cubic meters of water.
These projects have been, improvement of the food supply of the community in terms of quantity and quality. And this was possible thanks to the construction of microdams, seasonal river flow diversion structures, which they to develop irrigated agriculture.
The project has been working with vulnerable groups, including small-scale farmers, agro-pastoralists, pastoralists and rural women in relation to climate change-induced problems.
እዚኣ ሓንቲ ቀዳመይቲ መልእክቲ እያ ከላይት እውን ኣለና ምስኡ ዝተኣሳሰረውን ሶላር ብኤሌክትሪክ ዝኸይድ ዋስካ ብትሕቲ ምድሪ ናብቲ ጀርዲን ዝኸይድ ዝተፈላለዩ ምህዞታት ወይ ፃዕርታት ዝሓልፎ መንግስቲ ህዝቢ ዝገብሮ ፃዕሪ ኣሎ።
This is the most drought-stricken area, and the people, the life mode of the people was pastoralists. So through this project, I think they become sedentary farming, meaning that they are trying to produce twice in a year or 3 times in a year. So we are trying to mitigate this climate problem. So we are pushing the farmers to use this solar-driven engine. So by now, almost around 13 hectares has been irrigated with solar system. The rest they are using this flood diversion structure. And again, within this outcome one, we are building different dams and check dams we are able to harvest almost more than 2 million cubic meter of water. So within these 2 cubic meter, I think the farmers they got a good chance to get water easily. Just use the shallow water, and also not only for irrigation purpose, for domestic water supply. All in all, in the outcome, we have done a very satisfactory activities or works.
Anseba مالي وحشتجيرو نتي حرستايز الكبر لبوتا بالماء ناي agriculture production كبني مبال لا ما زين.
Climate-resilient agricultural technologies such as the distribution of improved and drought-resilient pearl millet seeds have been introduced through this program in order to help farm households secure food and nutrition, income and employment, as well as provide marketable surplus for urban dwellers.
كل حرستاينا يزوبا خاطر تقامن مخان علامه بمغبار ناب بتقلالا بدمر كاتو اب 772 هكتار ናይ ምሩፅ ዘርኢ ምብዛሕ ንጥፈታት ጌርና ኣለና ኣብዚ ከ976 ሓረስቶት ተጠቀምቲ ክኾኑ ክኢሎም ኣለዎ እዚ ዘርኢ እንተርኢናያ ምስቲ ናይ ዓዲ ከነወዳድሮ ከለና ኣዝዩ ውፅኢታዊ ኮይኑሎ ምክንያቱ ዝነበረ ክራማት ተርኢናያ ኣጀማምርኡ ዝሑል ኣወዳድኡኻ ኣዝዩ ቅልጡፍ ብምዃኑ ሓላፍ ዘላፍ ስለ ዝነበሮ ነዚ ምቅያር ናይ ሕፅረት ናይ ዝናብ ተፃዊሩ ድማ እዚ ምሩፅ ዘርኢ ኣብ ምህርቲ ክበፅሕ ክኢሉሎ ሓረስታይ ኣብዚ ግዜ እዚ ነዚ ምሩፅ ዘርኢ ዝዘርኡ ሓረስቶት ኣብ ተስፉ ኣብ ምህርቲ ዝሓፍስሉ ባይታ በፂሖም ኣለዉ ማለት እዩ
ሓፂር ክነሱ እቲ ክራማት ማይ ነይሩ እቲ ዘራእቲ ዝመፀና ግን መስገን ብሓቂ ንዑ ምስ ርአና ተሓጒስና እቲ ዘራእቲ እቲ እኽሊ መፂኡ ዘሎ ብኩሉ በቲ ፍሪ ይኹን በቲ ማይ በቲ ሓፂር ማይ ክነሱ ፍሪዎ ዘሎ ተሓጒስና ኣለና ንሕና
ፅቡቕ ኢና ተውሂብና ፅቡቕ ሰሪሕና ፅቡቕ ካ ተሓጒስና ብዛዕባ እዚ ብድሕሪ ሕጂ ኸና ክንሕጎስ ብዙሕ ተስፋ ይዘለና
These improved seeds distributed to these farmers are ecologically sustainable and climate resilient and can yield more even in the dry season. Because of the distribution of improved seeds within the package of the program, many farmers are now able to plant crops twice a year, both in the rainy and dry seasons.
እዚ ምሩፅ ዘርኢ እዚ ንዓና ዓቢ ደገፍ ኮይኑ ንደርቅን ተጻዋርነት ስለ ዘለዎ ንቐጻልነት ኣብ ኤርትራ ተስፋሕፊሑ ኣብ ከማናዳ መሰሎ ሓረስቶት መናብሮ ሓረስታይ ንምምሕያሽ ተዘፊሉ መናብሮና ክምሕያሽ ክእል እዩ ማለት እዩ
እንዳሕርሻ ካብ ወርሒ 4 መፅኦም ነቲ ዘርኢ ምሩፅ ኣርዮምና ኣስተምህሮ ሂቦም ኣርዮምና ነቲ ዘርኢ ናይ ብሓቂ ብስእሊ ገይሮም ምስ ረኣይና ልክዕ ኣብ ልብና ኣትዩ ምስ ዘረኣናዮ ኸኣኒ ኣብቲ ውፅኢት ናቱ ናይ ብሓቂ ዳሓጉስ ክዝረአን ክበቁልን ከም ሓንቲ ኮይኑ ፅቡቕ ውፅኢት ትርኢና ኣሎ ማለት እዩ
ብጣዕሚ ፅቡቕ እዩ ማለት ዝወፀ ይብሉን ዝኾነ ካብቲ ሕማማት ናይ ቅድሚ ሕጂ ዝነበረ ብልትጉን ዝበለፀ እዩ ካብ ቀልጢፍካ ምሽዋት ይኹን ካብ ኩሉቲ ታሽም ወላ ጉንብኡ ይኹን ብጣዕሚ ብሉፅ ኮይኑ ኢና ረኸብና ንሕና
The Ministry of Agriculture has piloted the Minimum Integrated Household Agricultural Package, MIHAP, in complementarity with improved water availability. With the newly introduced Minimum Integrated Household Package in the Anseba Region, each house or family is given the opportunity to acquire 1 improved crossbred dairy cow or 6 goats. The cow is on a pass-on program, that is, the farmer gives back the first female calf of about 1 year. The package also includes 25 chicken, only 3 of which are males, 2 beehives, a vegetable plot, and 20 trees, 10 fruit trees, 5 leguminous trees as feed supplement to the cow, and 5 trees for firewood, in addition to the land used for crop cultivation.
Combining all these packages, it's a package. Our intervention in that area is a package. It includes water harvesting capacity of the farmers, and training farmers on climate risk management, and different types of agricultural practices. So all this led to improved practice of agriculture in that area. So that helped farmers really to produce more, and by adopting improved management of natural resource and their livestock and the crops. So it has led to improved livelihood in that area. This was realized through increased production of crops and higher productivity of livestock.
This approach has brought significant change in household production, food security, and incomes. In fact, based on its success, the approach and package has been replicated in other development projects in the Zoba.
The life standard has improved in terms of improving the quality of the food and quantity they get. And many of the nomadic households began to have settled life, and they are being engaged in agriculture. Before they were agro-pastoralists, and they roam around the areas in search of grass and for their livestock.
The distribution of crossbred cows, seeds, and seedlings of animal fodder, fruits and vegetables has helped farmers improve the nutrition security at household level and supply markets in the villages and towns with milk, animal feed, and vegetables at reasonable price.
The main objective of this MIHAP to support the farmers to attain food and nutrition security. So this project assists them in provision of inputs, in training, and also in inoculation of these principles and the ideas of MIHAP.
The program has successfully increased food and livestock productivity and hence food security. A farmer can now produce more than double or triple the amount of food they need for household consumption. Similarly, milk production has increased from 2 liters per day to about 5 to 8 liters per day, and the excesses are taken to the markets for sales to generate household income.
الحليب ما شاء الله الماء سرح تعسر كله لترة تتحلب الحليب سرو قل صبحنا وسرو منا زبيه.
The project has installed 6 meteorological stations in the Anseba region to enhance community preparedness to climate hazards. These installations at the Hamelmalo College of Agriculture and the Agro-Technical School have provided access to students and faculty to conduct training and research for improved weather forecasting. Also, the data generated from the manual stations is being shared with the Ministry of Land, Water and Environment and the Department of Water Resources.
ኣብዚ ምስ ምቅያር ናይ ዚ ክሊማዊ ለውጢ ዝተፈላለዩ ሽግራት ከጋጥመና ጸኒሑ ሓደ እቲ ዝዓበየ ደርቂ እዩ ብኻልእ ከዓ ዝተፈላለዩ ሕማማትን ባልዓትን ከጋጥመና ጸኒሑ ሓረስቶትና በዚ ክሽገሩ ጸኒሖም እዮም ሕጂ ምስ መጅማር እዚ ናይ ክላይሜት አዳፕቴሽን ወይ ከዓ ክሊማዊ ለውጢ ምርዓም ክሊማዊ ለውጢ ዝበሃል ፕሮጀክት ነዚ ብድሆ ዝንምብዳህ ምስ ሕርሻው ምትካል ሕርሻው ምርምር ተሓባቢሩ ኣብ ምዕባል ዘራእትን ኣብ ምትካል ስቴሽናት ናይ ሜትሮሎጂን ክተሓበርና ጸኒሑ እዚ ፕሮጀክት እዚ ነቲ ጸገማት ሓረስቶትና ከዓ ክንፈትሕ ክኢልና ማለት እዩ
እዚኣ ካብ ጀመረቶ ማራን ንተምሃሮ ይኹን ንዝኾነ ሰብ ንክፍለ ሕርሻታት ይኹን ነዚ ኮሌጅ ማራ ጠቂማትና ዘላ ማለት ዳታ ንክበላ ኣለና ራይንፎል ከመይ ነይሩ ፀሓይ ከምዲ ብኩሉስ ነመስግኒና እዚኣ ንምስራሓቲ ማራ ሕጉሳት
Due to its high priority to the community of both Habaro and Hamalmalu subzones, solar panels were installed in 748 households. In addition to its climate mitigation benefits, this intervention supports the farmers in upgrading their house income by minimizing household expenditures on purchasing of kerosene.
زبن النبر عنا بدير ما شاء الله تعالى إنما منبر تمام النبر عنا لكن تعينتنا إلا ما برد لما أزعتنا لليت يعني الحمد لله من سلمت تبرهت حاولنا أبي أسأل مودي بالنبر عنا لكن الحمد لله الله من الزمد إلا هبطنا بارك الله فيه عند يرحم الدوم ينحلب وبرهت قل بيتنا وبرهت قل درسانا سلمت قاس على الحافظة دي بلو والحمد لله احنا واجهت إلى الهبطنا هي شكرا بالله وسنئنا برلنا الحمد لله الله يحمو دامتم أنا عقل لا الحمو دامهم حنا الحمد لله بارك الله فيهم من برهت من سلمت برهت سبت غيرونا حمد بسحتهم من ننكرنا
دي كل رجيتنا إلى ما برهت بالنسبة إلا ما برهت لقبأت جنان حنا بزحت نفعنا بها قلمي بدير السلمات النبر عنا لكن من إلا ما برهت إلا ركبنا زيادة أجنيتنا لالي رسودي با موبايلات مالي منا من سلمات لا حزينة عند ريبا لا ما برهت بزحت نفعنا بها لحكومتنا تكال سن وديت النبر لنا إلا ما برهت ولكن كافية يكون يا 350 بيت لقبي فتوت الأقلوة دي تقلنا لكن زياد قلت الفاملينا أسك الله بس المتاهل بهلتو ومن ناما كدن هيني شعب لأتاهل دي بلا مدينة مبال مبرهت.
Since 3 schools are also benefiting from the solar lighting, the intervention had contributed in improving education in the society by giving opportunities for night studies and using some electrical or electronic tools such as computers and tablets.
عدم أبسلماتنا نبر ثانينا هجي أما برهتنا وتينا لنا في اللايقة تمهرونا نتيوم حاجة مرة عبي بتغيير الله ماله مكنياتو نتيوم تراوستون كاسنعون قرمله قالك نتيوم تمهرا مرة عبي فتح تغيير الله ماله مالتين مع صناعتي قالي سايتين كا تي موبايلات قالي ندي شاحن يقبر الله هذا ما ينبرن شاحن تقبر ومقد كندا ساعات عريتا كيتكا قلمله موبايل كاشحين كان أي 3 معلتي كلتا معلتي تتكامل بس طرفه قبي بالملتي حجي زخانة سب دلا يشحن الله
تمام قوانا ما شاء الله منا إلا نور مزيدنا الحمد لله رب العالمين قل جنيتنا وقل روحتنا وقل موبايلاتنا كمان تمام قوانا كم سلال بهال على 350 لا تعدلينا منا لا تعدلوا لا ترفعوا سبت بزحلو زي ما كم سلينا قلوا برهو نحزعنا والحمد لله رب العالمين من صلمدي برهت لأفكارتنا من قستي نين حمد دقن نحلو فيه نقدرنا.
About 1,700 women-headed households have benefited from the distribution of energy-efficient cooking stoves, which not only reduce fuel utilization and play a huge role in decreasing deforestation rates, but also play a positive impact on women's health and the efforts to gather timber for basic household needs.
أبتناي قدام أتون تهلوه عن جيتنا أبز تهلوه ننبينه أبز ولا بقفة غيرك ندحرب في الله يدقي خبوق لما تهلي كاسي ولا بقفة غيرك صبغ طقم خدقم تخيلها مغنيات حم خشتن ده تنقفن تحت السلة خيط صبغ طقمتها الله ويبل أبا قرابنا وين عبتراي تصوتي دبل جمجم الله مالتي.
Several farmers are given trainings on animal production and health, fodder cultivation, horticulture and irrigation, establishment of the dairy farms, cultivation of fruits, animal feeds and vegetables.
زخنا تكنولوجيا خطأت خلخة تقدم إذا مثل awareness نايتي حبرة السبكة ناي تي أفلوت حرساي أو أفلوت نايت كي إلاون أبت بيت السرح زورلو كبن خبل الله كبن خبل تخينخا سلت أنا خطب ولا كا حرشة ومخرطات ونكت تساعد قبر الله
The program has directly benefited over 6,000 households, including 22% women-headed households, and indirectly benefited over 75,000 inhabitants of the two sub-zobas. The Minimum Integrated Household Agricultural Package, MIHAP, coupled with traditional improved fuel-efficient stoves and solar panels, provided diverse livelihood options and opportunities to many farming households.
ክጅመር ከሎ ኣብቲ ከባቢ ብፍላይ ሃበሮ ብዙሓት ሰባት ኣይነበሩን ኣብ ሃመልማሎም ከምኡ ዳርጋ እጂ ስራሕ ምስ ጀመረ ግን ካብ ዝተፈላለየ ቦታ ተኣኪቦም መፅኦም ነቲ ስርዓት እሞ እጂ እቲ ቦታ እሚዑ ዝያዳውን ካብኡ ላዕሊ ክሰፍሕ ይኽእል ምክንያቱ ናይ ሩባ አንሰባ ማይ ብዙሕ ስለ ዝኾነ ክልተ ዕፅቢ ሰለስተ ዕፅቢ ናይዞም ሰፊሮም ዘለዉ ክሰፍር ይኽእል ኢሎም እዮም እቶም ዝገምገምዎ ኪላታት ስለዚ እዚ መደብሲ ኣብዛ ሃገር ናይ ባሕቂ ዕዉት ዝኾነ ፕሮግራም እዩ ተኻይዱ كمو تمساسالي program نمكيادون نفتنا لنا.
The adaptation practices related to soil and water conservation, livelihood diversification strategy, the use of climate-smart technologies and varieties of crop and livestock, the change of lifestyle from pastoralists to agro-pastoralists, the deliberate integration of gender consideration in the implementation of the program in these two sub-zobas of the Anseba region are all but successes that should be emulated in other regions of Eritrea that are currently subject to food insecurities and associated vulnerabilities within the scope of the projected climate change impacts in the entire region of the Horn of Africa.